Hey guys, welcome to yet another TTC update. Today I'm going to discuss just how my HSG experience was. And Randy is joining me because he got to go back in the room with me, so he was there and he's going to help, I guess, remind me of things I may forget to mention, and he might, I guess, give his opinion of the procedure, I'm not sure. But also on that same day, he went in for another test, and so we're going to kind of share those results. First off, my HSG experience wasn't exactly how I thought it would be. It was extremely uncomfortable, first off. I guess I just didn't think about how uncomfortable the whole thing would be, which I'm not sure why I didn't even consider that, you know, there, because they insert the catheter-like thing, you know where. So it was rough and it was intense. It didn't necessarily hurt, but there was a lot of pressure and I didn't love it, that's for sure.
Given the choice between having a catheter there or not having a catheter there, which would you choose?
The second one.
Okay.
Ding ding ding.
So I think we have the answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking, making sure.
Just making sure. Anyway, yes. It was like at one point, I think Randy was like, "Do you want my hand?" Because I was making this awful face while the doctor was inserting that lovely thing. So it was uncomfortable to say the least. And then he said you could possibly begin to have cramping, you know, once the dye is inserted. It's like, man, I was hating this whole thing already and the dye hasn't even started flowing. So I was like, oh gosh, this is gonna just be awful. So when the radiologist came in and mashed the button, because that's what all it appeared to be, is he just had to mash that button to, you know, send the dye through. It was immediate, like on the screen. You just could see it immediately, and it just flowed through everywhere it needed to flow, through my tubes, and just emptied out like it was supposed to. And I saw it happening, and both of them were like, "Okay, she's good." Like, guys, it was a minute. It was like a minute. I laid on the table and I was like, "Wait, is this a joke? Like that's it? That's it?" Anyway, my tubes were clear. Thank God. So that was exciting.
Which means no surgery.
Which means
Praise
no
the
surgery. Yep, nothing more invasive. So that was great. And I did not have any cramps during the actual procedure, which really surprised me because a lot of the people that I talked to said that they cramped. And my doctor said because there were no blockages, there were no seen blockages anyway, that's probably why I didn't cramp at all. So when the dye is, you know, working harder to get through the tube, that's when you cramp. It took less than 15 minutes. Like, it was not a big deal whatsoever. I had worked myself into a tizzy like that whole day before, and then the morning of, like, I was a grouch because I was really nervous about the whole thing. A little bit too much information I'm about to say. There was a little bit more bleeding than I thought there would be from the procedure. You know, the doctor warned me that there would be spotting some after, like during the day and possibly the next day, but I really didn't have any of that. It was just right right when I sat up, I noticed there were lots and lots of like gauzes.
Geeses.
There were lots and lots of like gauze, just kind of laying there with a whole lot of blood. And so I looked at that when I first sat up, and that was a mistake. That was bad. Anyway, so just be prepared for that if you're going to have one done. And I mentioned before that when I was having the procedure done, I didn't have any cramps, and that was great. But later that day, I had a lot of cramping. And that took me by surprise too, because no one mentioned, or maybe I don't know, I hadn't spoken to the right person, but they didn't mention how you would feel, I guess, later that day. And it affects every woman differently. You know, every woman is going to react differently to this test. And so I guess my body with the dye, it just caused a lot of cramping, and some of them were they were harsh. Like at one point I may have doubled over. So, and they also didn't feel completely just like cramps. Honestly, it was like a mix of cramps you have when you're on your period and then a huge bad gas bubble. Like it was a mixture of those two. Yeah, not pleasant to say the least, but by that evening they had subsided a great deal. So that was good. So, I mean, it didn't last the whole day, so that's good. So as a whole, I think the test went way better than I had imagined and had worked it out to be in my mind. Because in my mind, it was going to be awful, painful, and I was gonna have terrible results. But it wasn't any of those things. Very uncomfortable, to say the least. But, I mean, it's over and I don't have to have another one. If you have an upcoming HSG, I know some of you have mentioned that you have one scheduled or it's in your near future, and you have any more questions about something that I didn't cover, feel free to comment down below and ask me those, and hopefully I'll have an answer for you, but no promises. And then later that day, Randy went back to the doctor for his second checkup, and I'm gonna kind of let you take it from here.
I went back for my second checkup at the same place that I got the first checkup done. And by the words checkup, what we mean is semen analysis.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor who did my first test, I thought I did a great job. The results came back really well, and he said that, you know, things were looking great. This time, however, when I got in the doctor's office, in the actual waiting room where I was waiting for him to come in and talk to me about everything, I guess whatever they call that, I heard him walking around outside saying that he couldn't find the piece of paper that he needed, that he had our information on last time, or my information on. Turns out he lost that. He lost the information with my previous test results.
The chart, Randy's chart.
Yeah, I don't know if it was exactly the chart, but it had all the information on it.
Well, when they put it in the chart.
That should be a chart.
Yeah.
Anyway, he lost that, and that's like a big no-no. You're not supposed to lose that. Anyway, so this time he came back and he said that the results were not good, and that I had a very low sperm count, and he said my number was at 4 million, and he was just thinking, you know, like he flat out said, it's not very possible for you guys to be pregnant right now, and
or to get pregnant
right now. And I was just kind of like taken aback by it all. And first off, the fact that he said it like that, which is actually something more Anna pointed out. And second off, the fact that that was completely different than what he had said last time. And so I said, but you know, doc, this doesn't make any sense. I had 40 million last time. Now I'm down to 4. And he was like, this is exactly what he did. He was looking at something, he goes, that doesn't, we need to find that. That just really does. I'll be right back. And then he walked out. Almost as if like there's more that he's not telling me and that he really kind of screwed something up. I don't know. All that to say, he came back in a couple minutes later and he actually said that my test results were inconclusive. He didn't even know what to call it. He didn't even know what to call it. He said there's no way there's that large of a discrepancy between the two tests. And so he's calling it inconclusive. And by the way, he's retiring in 2 weeks. So it didn't matter though whether he was retiring or not. We're going to go to a different urologist and we will see what he says. So that'll be coming up within the next couple of, like the next month or two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the 2 tests that Randy has had, they don't really mean anything to us right now because we don't truly know which one's right.
Yeah.
So we're kind of back to square one with him and knowing, well, which test was wrong, you know, like, and it's just something we're having to put faith in God, because it could be either one. It really could.
Yeah.
So, well, we don't know right now. So I don't think we're really. I'm trying not to focus on it because, again, I mean, the test last month, he said he was perfectly normal. So, and even the doctor said that he hasn't seen this before, where the counts were that drastic. Because usually your numbers can vary a little, but to go from 40 million to 4 is not normal. So there's where we're at so far, our update. I am starting Clomid next month.
Woo, Clomid! I don't know. Should we raise a roof for that? No, 'cause
I don't
she's gonna be
know.
crazy.
We don't know that. Every woman handles it differently. I've heard some wonderful success stories with Clomid, and I've also heard some stories where women went crazy. So, and they still didn't get pregnant. I was telling Randy, I was like, if it means I'll be crazy for a couple of months, but we get our baby, then I think we can handle that. But if I'm just crazy and still no baby, it's like, well. And again,
She won't be that bad.
it affects everyone differently. So
she won't be
I
that
might even just be normal. Or I might just have to try really, really hard to be loving. So yes, Clomid for 3 months. I'm gonna do 3 rounds. And we'll see what that gets us. Yeah.
And I guess we'll give you an update then, and also when I get my third semen analysis.
Yeah. I was telling him too, it's like, I don't understand how your charts could be lost. Like, what are the chances that your second test would be so negative and the charts are lost, so we can't even confirm that the last test was normal? Like, it's very confusing to me.
It is confusing. I think it's just gonna add to the awesome story that gives God glory when we have a baby.
I like that. Like the sound of that. All right, guys.
That was such a weak high five. Ow! There you go.
Thank you for watching and supporting and loving and praying for us.
Continue to do so. We're loving all your stories that you're posting,
Absolutely. Thank you for those.
and we'll be praying for you guys. Some of you are even doing these exact same steps right now.
There you have it. I think that's it for us now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, God bless.